I, 34F, don't know what to do after my husband, 32M, kissed his work wife. My husband, 32M, and I, 34F, have been married for 6 years and we have a son. For the most part, we have the kind of marriage that I assume lots of people have. There are good times and less good times. For the last 4 years or so, we have both just been really busy. We both have busy jobs, we have been renovating our house, and most of our time is spent parenting. It's neither of our faults exactly, but we just never have time for each other. We haven't gone on a real date in years, and I can't remember the last time we were intimate. I think that's part of why I was so heartbroken when my husband came home from work late one day recently and told me that he had kissed a woman he works with. He told me that they had both had a momentary lapse in judgment and that he was really sorry. He told me it was with this girl that I've met several times, and I always called his work wife because they talk to each other so often. It obviously fucking sucks in every way possible. And I yelled at him, and he promised to distance himself from the woman and not talk to her. When it happened, I told him we were done and that I wouldn't stay married to a cheater, but now I just don't know. I hate him so much right now, but I also just can't imagine going forward in my life without him. Eventually, I'll make my own decision, but I'd love to hear if you guys have any advice. Too long did not read. Husband kissed woman he works with. I'm trying to figure out what to do next. To me, him telling you means he feels horrible and wants to fix your marriage. Babe couples counseling. And start dating each other again. Truly give your marriage a shot. That way if a divorce happens, you know you gave it your all for one last try. That title of work wife should never have been planted in his brain. The only wife in his life should have been you. If he's remorseful, then he'll change jobs, and if he doesn't, then consider the affair as still happening even if it's only emotional at this point. The kiss wasn't a momentary lapse in judgment, but rather another escalation in what has long been an increasingly inappropriate level of relationship for him to be having with a colleague at work. He has been cheating on you. You've both got to stop kidding yourselves about the gravity and nature of what occurred here. Your husband needs to cut all ties with this woman, even changing job if that is what it requires, and you both need to go to marriage therapy. They were having an emotional affair, lines were blurred, boundaries crossed until they eventually kissed. Do they ever talk outside work? Texting? What else don't you know? It's not your job to fix this by clearing his conscience by giving him immediate answer/forgiveness. He owes it to you to fix it by earning forgiveness over time. If you quickly forgive, be prepared for, you agreed to move past it. Stop punishing me with your feelings. Let it go already. This is still betrayal of trust. He put effort into building connection to another woman. For me, him looking for another job would be non-negotiable. He needs a new job. Momentary lapse of judgment is such BS. How did they end up in a situation where a kiss was even on the table? They were pressed together looking at a computer screen when violins started playing in the background. You need a lot more information about how it got to this point. Reading their text exchanges is a good start, which he should have no problem showing you if he's genuinely remorseful. My boyfriend suddenly insisted on using protection, and I don't understand why. 26F/39M. I need mature perspective on something that happened. My boyfriend has always hated condoms. We have never really used them, except our very first time together, when he wore one for about 2 minutes, and we both agreed to take it off. Since then, we've always had sex without one. Yesterday, out of nowhere, he insisted on wearing a condom and was very serious about it. When I tried to take it off because we both prefer without, he literally held my hand to stop me. That has never happened before. When I asked why, he said he didn't want to get me pregnant because he's about to leave the city for 6 months for a short-term contract. That surprised me because he knows my cycle very well, and I wasn't fertile at all. We've also had sex on peak fertility days in the past with no protection, and he has always talked about wanting a baby someday. I've told him I wanted to give him one too. For context, he was married for 15 years, and his ex-wife never had a pregnancy scare. So seeing him suddenly become strict about condoms just feels strange and very sudden. And when I asked him 3 times why, and he redirected the conversation instead of explaining. On top of that, he asked me to wait for him during these 6 months. So now my mind is going in circles. I don't want to accuse him, but I keep wondering. Is he suddenly unsure about our future and doesn't know how to say it? Did something happen, or did he get involved with someone else? Could he be worried about something health-related and doesn't want to talk about it? Did he change his mind about wanting a child with me? These are uncomfortable questions, and I don't want to sound like I don't trust him, but this was such an abrupt shift that I don't know what to think. I want to approach this like an adult and communicate clearly. Could this be a red flag? And how do I bring this up in a calm, non-accusatory way while still getting clarity? Or maybe I am not understanding his vision? Definitely STD related. Go get checked. Y'all ain't scared of STDs and unwanted pregnancy enough to my liking. I actually mean nicely as possible, but 15 years without a pregnancy scare on her end, as well as seemingly a lot of time with you, and not one on yours? This definitely seems more health-related than baby-related. He's asking you to wait 6 months for him, but prior to his leaving starts using condoms, so does that mean he gets to sleep with other people while he's away? Get an STD/STI panel. I think you need to be asking a lot more questions directly to him, and not settling for his non-answers. I absolutely think there's a reason a man would select somebody 13 years younger than him to behave this way with. The non-answer would piss me off, and I wouldn't wait for him while he's gone. But I'm in a cranky mood. Personally, I'd think it's either STD if he got some pregnant very recently. People show off their secrets and their anomalies. You have no idea what it would to raise a child by yourself. It's very difficult. Wait for children when you have marriage and stability. You don't give someone a child like it's a gift. My friend, 18M, almost accidentally killed me, 19M. How do I move forward? This is a hard thing to talk about, as it only happened a week ago. My family owns a crossbow that we usually shoot at a target on our property. While my father got it, it's considered to be mine for use. I am quite skilled with the crossbow and have fired it innumerable times, and am very careful. It is not a killing weapon, but it's not a toy, and shooting it in a critical place could be lethal. It didn't shoot actual arrows, but more like pencil-sized darts with relatively sharp metal tips. I had brought friends over before, including my best friend, 18 male, to shoot at the target with me before with no issue. This is because I very clearly explained that it isn't a toy and to exercise caution. One day my friend called me up and asked if we could shoot the crossbow. Unfortunately, I said yes. In retrospect, the warning signs were there from the start, but nothing could have prepared me for what happened that day. He showed up shortly after calling, and I was there set up and ready for him. From the start, he wanted to begin shooting the target, but I slowed him down and went over the protocol of how to fire it and how to put the safety on. He kept giving me quick responses of how he remembered how to do it, and I gave the demonstration myself. Now, we had done this before, so it wasn't a complete red flag that he wanted to speed through instructions, but I wish my judgment was better. He fired it off a few times and hit the target with no issue. Then I went to grab more darts from the dart box, which was behind the direction of the target, essentially completely opposite to the line of fire. It all happened in seconds. I felt a sharp thud hit my head and my vision go black for a moment, but there was no pain. I remember looking at my friend with the crossbow in hand and wide-eyed as a deer. I began to scream as I instinctively pulled the pencil-sized dart from my head. I have to say I may have been more in control than he was while I was bleeding from the head, as he froze in shock, and I yelled at him to call 911, which he did. My adrenaline was through the roof, and I didn't actually feel the injury, but I knew I was bleeding. Very quickly, both police and medics showed up on the scene, and I was fully lucid, and understood that I hadn't sustained a serious injury. However, the place where I was hit was an inch between my eye and temple. I told the police it wasn't intentional, as my friend could barely speak out of shock. I went to the hospital, but was let out very quickly. It's been a week, and my friend called to ask if I was okay at the time I was in the hospital, but we haven't talked since then. There was so much dangerous stupidity from him that I can't understand how he had his safety off and had turned away from the target, faced me, and shot. Can I ever be his friend again? I don't know, man. That seems intentional by the way you tell it. I don't know if maybe you'll want to be his friend again, but you are going to want some answers from him regarding his intentions, so you'll have to talk to him at some point, at least to let him know how it looks from your perspective. That will probably give you some peace of mind later down the road. Did you guys discuss why that happened when he called you in the hospital? So he turned away from the target, pointed it at you, and pulled the trigger, and you think this was all an accident? I shoot guns regularly, and as a group we're really safe. If one of my friends shot me accidentally through their own stupidity, it'd be the end of our friendship. That's not forgivable. Safety is paramount, and he shot you opposite of the target. WTF. P.S. Bill your friend the medical costs. You are completely underreacting. He had to do a full 180 and aim and shoot. This was intentional. It sounds like he meant to do it, and in fact planned to do it. Stay far away from that dude. Consider pressing charges, or at least file a police report. This is giving fledgling serial killer vibes. I think it's more likely your friend shot you on purpose without thinking the consequences through, and then panicked when reality set in. IF/18 just gave my boyfriend M/19 an ultimatum. How do I hold myself to it? So me and my boyfriend have been together for about a year now. We're very close with each other's families. He's an amazing guy and I really do love him, and that's what's making this so difficult. In our relationship sometimes, he gets angry and will say things like fuck you, and just be super rude. It's like when he's mad he forgets I'm his girlfriend and treats me like a stranger, and it honestly has started to scare me. I know he would never hit me, but I always get scared when people raise their voice. There was one time I tried to comfort him by grabbing his arm, and he ripped me off of him. After that happened, he went to his car and was crying. He says he doesn't know why he's like that, and he hates it, and he wants to change. So, the second most recent argument we had, I told him after that I want him to work on the anger, because I feel as if I can't talk to him about issues. I offered podcasts, books, therapy, but he claims he doesn't have time for it, so he can't. And I just told him to find something that works. The most recent argument, however, was our worst one yet. I drove up to his campus and went to his dorm to surprise him and set up decorations. 2 of his friends were with me. We had original plans to meet at a coffee shop, but it was a 5-minute walk to his dorm, so I assumed it would be okay. As soon as he texted me that he was out, I told him to come to his dorm. Then he started to blow up on me over text. Why are you like this? Fuck you. Okay, I'm just going to your car. I was super upset at this point, and both of his friends saw this, and were in utter shock. One of them saw his texts. Once he made it to the dorm and realized his friends were there, and everything was decorated, he didn't say thank you. He talked to his friends about his day, then gave me a side hug. So, I asked his friends to leave for a minute, and we had one of the worst arguments we've ever had. It pretty much ended with me saying, if you snap at me like this again, I don't think I can be with you. It felt terrible. My entire trip up there felt ruined. I don't want to break up with him. But it's coming to a point where he's texting me this stuff while I'm with my friends. And I've started to get migraines from the amount of stress I'm under. I'm just scared that when the time comes, I won't have the strength to end it. So, how do I keep the strength to end it? I know that when it happens again he's going to do it, and then apologize and say he doesn't want to lose me and everything. I'm scared I'm not going to be able to break up with him. Bite the bullet and do it, or just decide that you'll content yourself with a shitty relationship. We can't give you strength beyond telling you that this shit isn't tolerable or acceptable. If that isn't enough, then turn to your friends and family for encouragement. Wanting better for yourself means making the choices that get you better things. Think of it that way. He said he has no time to work on it. Being single will give him more time, so it's all for the best of everyone. Definitely you, but also him. He scares you. Read that as many times as you need to. Do you want to be with someone who scares you and has no desire to change? Read stories of domestic violence victims, both those who survived and those who didn't. Volunteer at a women's shelter. Contemplate what happens if your state passes laws around abortions like Texas or Florida. You're going to find a lot of stories that start out just like this. Then it got better for a little while, and she got pregnant, and then it got way worse. So they got married, thinking that would fix it. It didn't. I'm not saying this can't get better, just that it probably won't. And by probably, I mean statistically. If this man isn't already going to therapy, he's not about to start because he lacks the empathy and insight to do it without consequences. I don't want to break up with him. Why? He's not nice to you, so why do you want to continue to be his girlfriend? Do you think you're not worthy of having a boyfriend who is nice to you? As well, you said he scares you. Why do you think so little of yourself to stay with a man who scares you? He's an amazing guy, proceeds to describe how he isn't over the course of several paragraphs.